Hello guys, my name is Colin Ballin and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a glass only repair on an iPhone 5S. So to begin this video, we're going to be removing the two bottom pentalobe screws on either side of the charger port. Then we're going to place a suction cup as close to the bottom home button as possible. Then sticking your either middle finger or index finger through, you're going to push up while using a pick to pull down the metal frame. Make sure you're not putting any pressure on the plastic frames. You might damage some internal parts. Once you get it up a little bit, you're going to use a kind of screwdriver motion, a little twisting in there to pop up the screen. You're not going to want to lift up the bottom like on most phones, because in the 5S only there is a wire running from the home touch button all the way down to the logic board. We're going to pop that up using a little metal spudger. Alright, just move the metal casing aside. Alright, lifting up the LCD just like any other iPhone. We're going to use our screwdriver to remove the 4 screws in a box shape around the top right component that is holding down the screen ribbons. Alright, and we're going to make sure that we use a plastic pry tool instead of a metal pry tool, otherwise you might short out your battery. Just using a rotating motion, do not push against them, as you could very easily damage the connectors. Alright, so now that we have the screen loose, we're going to go ahead and remove the suction cup. Alright, so you're going to want to lay the screen face down and grab your Phillips head screwdriver, and you're going to go ahead and remove the screws around. I'm starting with the the earpiece. There are 2 screws up top there. Alright, and once you remove those, you're just going to grab some tweezers or whatever you have and gently tug upwards from the bottom. You're going to want to move it right above the actual earpiece unit. Don't rip it off or anything, because you need to pull it to the right to get it to slide out. Alright, and now I'm just going to be removing the screws all around, and make sure you put them in order so that you know where they go when you go to put the phone back together. Alright, I'm just using a heat gun here to heat up the bottom adhesive. This is to remove the home button. I'm just going to take a metal spudger, and on the screen side you're going to push up on the button as to knock it out of place. Then use your tweezers to gently lay it down on your paper or your working platform. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and lift up the LCD, or the backlight cover I guess you could call it. just going to try to untangle the ribbon wires, because on the 5S, for some reason, they decided to tangle it in with the wires, so you really have to wiggle it loose. And at the top there is some adhesive where it is actually stuck down. Using some tweezers or a pry tool, you're just going to gently lift upward to remove that from the screen. Typically no heat is required right here because it's really not stuck on really hard. Alright, so using a heat gun, we are going to start removing the frame. You don't have to be extremely gentle with the frame if you are planning on using a new frame like I am, but I usually try to get my frame off in one whole piece. Just using a like a metal spudger like I am is probably the best tool you can find. Push it in between the frame and the screen and use that screwdriver twisting motion to help pop it up. Follow around the whole frame and it should come up. Now we're going to grab some gold molybdenum, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, wire. You can buy this stuff on eBay for real cheap. This is the only wire that I would really trust because it is soft enough to not damage underneath the screen. It's tensile strength strong enough so that you can actually hold tension on it while pulling the LCD up. And the LCD on the iPhone 5s, they come up fairly easily. Alright, using a glue polarizer remover machine, we're going to scrape off the old Alright, so now that that's off, go ahead and lift up our LCD and we're just going to scrub it down with some Xylol. Now these LCDs really take some scrubbing unless you have a another machine to gently brush it off. I don't, so I just have to scrub it down with some Xylol. And I use that black light to make sure there's no dust on it when I go to laminate the new polarizer on. Just go ahead and peel up your polarizer cover. You're going to want to make sure your surface is extremely clean. You can't see overhead, but I do have a dust cover over this one. Because this is going to be directly from your screen attaching to the LCD. So we need to make sure there's no dust at all. Go ahead and peel back. Align it using either a mold, or you could put your frame on and use that to help align it. I like to push down in the middle so I can lift it up without it separating. Now after you do that, it's going to be time to put it in the autoclave laminating machine. This is an all-in-one, does everything for me. So I would recommend, if you're going to start doing something like this, you get an all-in-one machine. These machines do everything in about 10 minutes. You want to make sure that it's about 65 degrees Celsius before you start. The heat helps push out the bubbles. So this is a frame mold here, so we're going to grab a new frame. I'm using that high temperature glue. You want to try to avoid, a lot of people will try to use low temperature glue because it's cost effective. I don't. And my heat's not up to temperature yet. I'm just showing you for video purposes. And we're going to go ahead and take a new speaker piece. I replace them on all the phones I do because, I mean, most of the time your speaker has dust, earwax, yada 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 in it, and it's just a mess. So I just go ahead and throw a new one in because pennies on a dollar. So that's my video for you guys. If you want to see another video putting everything back on, I just cut it out for cost effectiveness. But if you want a list of pricing, you can look in the description. I do these on eBay.com. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, they are fairly cheap. So just check me out on there, and you can give me a text in the description if you're interested, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching my video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos.